Hey there, Brady here with your daily tennis lessons. So we're looking at power sources this week at DTL, and today specifically I want to look at the idea of the loop as both a part of the ground strokes on forehand and backhand and also in the serve. All right, so I want to preface this by saying I think most of you out there have some sort of loop in your ground strokes. We're going to look at that first today. I don't think there's many of you out there looking for instruction, probably that are going straight back, straight to the ball. There's a loop in there, but what I want to do in terms of adding power is create a longer stroke from start to finish to get to the ball. Because ultimately what's going to give me more power on the baseline is more racket speed. And so if I go back to the idea of no loop at all, if I go straight back, straight to the ball, that is a very short distance from back to ball. And in a short distance, the issue is I don't have a lot of room to pick up speed, okay? So for all of you players out there that are looping your racket, but it's maybe a more compact loop or a shallow loop, again, you look at that, the distance from start to finish, in terms of the finish being contact point, is not a very long distance. So if I'm trying to generate power in a short amount of span, and the idea is generating racket speed, I'm just at such a limit of how much speed I can create in a small space. So me personally, one, I'm tall. Two, I've always had probably maybe too big of a backswing per some of my coaches, but learn to space, learn to time it. So my standard loop now, if Mark feeds me a ball in, is a pretty nice, high, expansive loop. And so what I would suggest for a lot of you players out there on the forehand right now is, don't go out and get yourself a straight elbow. We don't want to be up here because timing is still so much a part of hitting with power. And we don't want to get to the point where we have the giant loop and can't time it. But I would think that a lot of you out there that already have this C shape, right? I'm kind of drawing a C with my racket from up to down, back to the ball. Just make a little bit of a bigger C. The elbow's still going to be bent, but because the distance now, as I'm up here and down into the ball, is longer, I'm able to generate more racket speed. So let's have a look at that. All right, and that's the same exact ball coming in, pretty much the same exact space. I'm not going full bore on it, but that is just such a natural power source compared to somebody in the same position with the same ball that's playing a more compact loop, okay? So then we look at it on the backhand side. And yes, I have a one-handed backhand, but, there's again a lot of players with a one-hander who might go straight back and play this short distance from backswing to ball, and that's not going to be a powerful backhand. If you have a two-hander, you see a lot of pros out there. Yes, they're making a loop, and at the club level, the loop again just looks a little bit too small. It's not covering enough ground from start to finish at contact to create power. So while I don't sign off on creating maybe as big of a loop on a two-handed backhand as I would on a forehand, it really can't hurt if you need more power in your game to just go practice creating a little bit of a bigger reverse C shape out on this side. So I'll hit my one-hander. Here's my natural kind of loop with a one-hander. Already pretty big, but if I didn't like the amount of power I'm getting, you're going to see me go a little more Dominic team right there. And for you two-handers, I'll try one here. But knowing that I'm after power, even though I don't have a great two-hander, I would try to expand the swing coming through. Pretty decent power for a guy that doesn't have a two-hander right there. All right, so these loops have to get bigger. And now we get to the serve. And you might be saying, well, where's the loop on the serve? It's going to occur down behind your back as you're swinging up to the ball. It's not a paused position, be clear on that. We're not trying to loop down and wait, just like we wouldn't from the top of the backswing get down and pause in a forehand. This is a fluid loop on the serve, but what I always notice is that the loop, for a lot of club level players, is too shallow. It starts its drop and then it redirects up too quickly. And we want to feel that racket head really hang down, come from a lower position, creating a longer loop. What happens with a longer loop? It's a farther distance to the ball, and in a farther distance we can generate more racket speed. So I'll take a couple here, Mark, and let's have a look at a serve. One, I'm going to try swinging with maybe a little bit of that shallower loop idea. I don't think it's going to be all that comfortable, number one. And number two, I'm not expecting too much power. Yeah, and now you can see I'm gonna let this drop to where I would normally get to. And yeah, while I don't focus on where my loop gets to because I have practiced my serve enough, it's a natural feeling for me. I think for a lot of you out there that need to find a little more MPH on your serve, a huge factor is going to be lengthening the swing, which starts in that downward loop position in behind your body at the start of the motion, okay? So again, all this comes with practice. Learn how to time these bigger strokes. It clearly would not be an advantage to create bigger loops in your swings if you're not timing them well. That's going to come with practice, but power is here to stay. You watch enough pros on TV, you realize how big they're hitting the ball. That's not going anywhere. Let's let that trickle down to the club level, and those are a few ways that the pros are hitting the ball as big as they are, okay? And that's all I got for you today. Hope that was super helpful. Please click like below this video, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so, as well as check down below me in the description of this video. You'll find the link to 3 free courses Mark and I have put together. I think you'll find those really helpful as well. All right, so until next time, be well. We'll see you soon at Daily Tennis Lesson.